So, my audio didn't turn out on the last video, so I guess I'm going to dub over it with this. It's been a hot few days here, really intensely hot. I guess according to the news, for it to be considered a heat wave, you have to have 3 days of temperatures consecutively over 32 Celsius, which I believe is in the area of 86, 87 Fahrenheit, something like that. Not really the best weather to be driving around in a car with no air conditioning. I tried to avoid it. Yesterday I had to take quite a long run, and it wasn't really all that pleasant. The humidity is just unbelievable this time of year here. So I went up to my friend's house in the Kawarthas to dig through his stuff, his like storage shed, to look for my old tent. It's been stored up there for a few years. I stopped going camping a few years ago, and I'm kind of missing it. There was a while where I just didn't have the time, and we had other things to do, and never ever had any free time. So I stored it up there, and anyways, I went and I found it. Like to do a camping trip maybe in September, maybe last week of August, beginning of September. Probably go to the Pinery up there by Grand Bend. I have a friend that lives up there, but her house isn't really all that big. It's more of a mobile home. Well, I guess it's like a second mobile home. She has a condo in London. But anyways, I did eventually find my stuff. It took quite a while. It was quite a task. When you live on a more rural property, you have a lot of room to store things, and if you're a pack rat, which I guess I would be too, you just load this up. He's probably got like a, I don't know what it would be, 2,000 square foot workshop that's just cram packed with shit, right? So a lot of it is things that aren't really his, that belong to deadbeat friends like me that take advantage of the fact that he has more space than I do. Although I haven't been in my garage in a decade because there's no room to put a car in there. So, I wouldn't consider myself materialistic, but I like stuff, even if it's stuff that has no real value. I'm working on it. Well, I guess it's going back about 6 weeks now. We rented a garbage bin dumpster thing because I was ripping out the carpet in this house because it's been here since 1999, and we bought the house new and moved in. So I ripped everything out, and we threw a bunch of stuff out from the basement and some stuff out from the garage. You just can't really get rid of a lot of stuff now with your traditional garbage pickup, because there's restrictions on how many bags, and there's restrictions on what they'll take. Around here, they won't take any electronics whatsoever, like old computer monitors or TV monitors. You have to take it to a dump in your car or rent a bin. And they said when we got this dumpster, if you have any monitors or TVs, put them on the top of the bin. So we've been doing a lot of stuff in the house the past couple months. So I come home and I do a little each day, and we've painted, and we've put in the wood floors. It's better for my dog. He doesn't really like the summer that much, and it's just cooler for him to sleep on. The floor is actually laminate, but we got it from Costco, and a lot of people think it's hardwood. It's pretty good quality. Kind of slippery for the dog, though. I wanted to do hardwood or maybe even bamboo, but when you have a dog, it's probably not the smartest, unless it's, you know, scraped hardwood or antique hardwood. But the newer stuff, it's probably not worth it. So it's a bit nicer here. We still have a ton of things to do. We did light fixtures, paint. The kitchen still has to be painted. Have to put in some granite countertops. We have a local newsletter that comes out every 2 or 3 weeks. And the newer homes in this area all offer free granite and stuff like that. So when you want to sell your home, you have to be competitive. Upscale light fixtures, vanities, and all that stuff. I'd like to put this place on the market within the next year or so. Figure out what to do there. So yeah, as far as my friend's place, the tent was destroyed. My old Coleman stove has got a wasp nest in it. I don't know if it'll start. I doubt it. It's probably not worth keeping. It was my dad's, though. It probably goes back to the late 60s, early 70s. He was big into fishing and camping and stuff like that, and I never really was into fishing. I just don't much care for seafood, and I certainly don't care to catch anything. And you know, we used to go to Wolf Island out by Kingston, and he'd do catfish, he'd do smelts. I don't know if any of you guys remember smelts from Lake Ontario, which was kind of I think it was a late fall thing. But I wouldn't eat any of that stuff, so I don't do it. But Wolf Island was kind of cool. I liked it there because you take the ferry ride out to the island, and it's free. And you know, depending where you stayed on the island, you were in this very rural location. It's like I think it's like a 50 square mile island, so it's not small. It's the largest of the 1,000 islands. Although some people will argue with me and say it's not one of the 1,000 islands. I think it is. They say it's the Frontenac Islands, but I think that's still part of the 1,000 Islands, whatever. But it was cool because then you'd have the lights of the city of Kingston and stuff, and it's a smaller city of probably 140, 150,000 people. But it was kind of cool because you'd be in this private location and you'd be overlooking all the lights and the buildings and whatever in the downtown lakeshore area of Kingston. I'd like to go out there too. I haven't been there since I was, I want to say 11 or 12. Last time we were there, there was a guy who escaped from the maximum security prison out there, and police believed he was on Wolf Island, and he was a serial killer too. So I think I was 10 or 11, a long time ago. So haven't really been back there since. Not that that really had anything to do with it. I think my dad, where did he start going? He started taking more local trips that were a 45-minute drive, like up to Lake Simcoe and Sybil Point, that kind of area, Aurelia. He was like that. He'd do things for a while and be sort of obsessive about it, and then, oh, that's enough. I'm done with that. I guess I'm kind of like that too, though. So last weekend, I don't think I've talked about any of this since Amanda finished her first year of university. Last weekend, she went out to St. Catharines. She's rented a house out there with 5 other girls. They're only allowed to stay on campus for the first year. She passed all her courses, although some of them just barely. Still hasn't picked a major. Yeah, she passed all her courses, so that's something. Anyway, so this house, it's an older, like 1960s back split type bungalow, and they all pay $450 or $425. But what I didn't realize, because I lived at home because my dad was terminally ill when I was in university, when you rent, you have to take it May 1st. So I don't know about you guys in the States or England or wherever else I have people that might be watching this, but in pretty much I think all of Canada, school ends in April. But so you would basically end up paying rent for a place that you're not going to use for May, June, July, August. But one of her friends that she's renting with decided to get ahead and take a summer course, so she stayed out there the part of the summer, and last weekend was her last weekend before she went home to Kingston, actually. So Amanda went out there Thursday and stayed for until Monday afternoon. And I guess this was when the heat wave was first starting, and so she gets there and the air conditioning isn't working. They call the landlord and he's going to send somebody over to fix it, and nobody ever showed up. But I think she got to see a little bit more of the city, and she wasn't really very happy last year. She just didn't connect with the university, and she's still talking about leaving, but she signed this lease for this place, and she doesn't really see the point in leaving until she decides what her major is going to be, which I guess I understand. But she took 4 courses instead of 5, so she's already behind. She got her first job as a waitress this summer, her first job ever, which, is good, but there's part of me that wishes she had have done what her friend did and took an extra course or something. Anyway, I don't know the area all that well. I know Niagara-on-the-Lake because it's a touristy area. She went to got some beautiful photos of a beach on Lake Ontario in a town called Port Dalhousie, which isn't too far from St. Catharines. It's amazing that you can live in a basic area. I mean, it's not exactly my area, but a couple hours away, you absolutely know nothing about that area. It's kind of cool, I guess. Back to my mind is wandering, back to the tent. I was thinking about maybe getting one of those camper trailers, you know, those pop-up tent trailers. I'd like to go a couple times in August, September, just locally, and was thinking of next year maybe traveling out west. I know more the eastern part of Canada and the United States fairly well. I've been to a lot of areas. This guy that works with my wife, he's a nurse as in the ICU that she's a nurse in. She was talking to him about camping, and he said, well, you know, the biggest problem with camping in Canada, like everything else, is it's much, much more expensive. And he has one of those pop-up trailers, and he goes out to Cape Cod, which I believe is Massachusetts. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe it is. And it's apparently a very posh, upscale, nice, safe area. So he goes out there for his two-week vacation every summer, and he says we should try it. And he's got 3 kids, so you know he has to do it as cheaply as possible. But he was saying they basically charge $12 a night for the campground, which I don't know what it is. It's been a while since I've been to a Ontario provincial park to camp. But it's going to be at least triple that. So, yeah, but I'd like to go out west. Although, you know, the Maritimes are nice too. It's been a while since I've been there, but I'd like to see more of the western part of Canada and maybe drop down to the States on the way back. But that would be next year. I was pretty jealous because I couldn't go because of work, but a couple of years ago, when my daughter was playing rep volleyball, my wife and her went to nationals out in Alberta, in Calgary, and they took a day trip. They got there a couple days earlier, and they took a day trip up to Banff and Lake Louise and stuff. And we don't have stuff that looks like that around here. We don't really have mountains or anything. Well, I suppose there are in northern Ontario, but certainly not in the area where people live. But yeah, so I'd like to start doing a few more things, and it's time to get out of this area too. I'm not sure where, but maybe sell this house and move to somewhere that's you can get more for your money. Oh, that's what I was thinking about. So this house that Amanda's renting for school with her friends, I have she was telling me the landlord only bought it 3 or 4 years ago. So I have a few friends in real estate, and I asked somebody to look up what he paid for it, and it was like $135,000. So now he's going to get whatever it is, $2,200-$2,300 a month on a house that basically didn't cost that much. You couldn't get anything here. You couldn't get a condo here for that. It's probably a really good investment if you were to rent it out for, 4, 5, 6 years and just just like crash down your mortgage, and then when it came time to renew your mortgage, you could probably get a $400 or $500 a month mortgage. The only problem is, of course, when you're renting out to university students, is how much partying are they going to do, and how much damage will they do to your house. I'd like to think my kid wouldn't do that, but I'm actually not stupid enough to believe that there's any chance that that could happen. So, yeah. As much as she tries to tell me she doesn't party, you know, her Twitter account would say otherwise. She doesn't realize that we can see it, and we can see some of the things that she says. So, and I don't want to make a big deal out of it, right? But, you know, I think they think we're stupid, like we didn't do the exact same stuff when we were their age. So anyway, I guess that's about it. I've probably babbled long enough. Supposed to be nicer on the weekend, supposed to get down to 25, 26 Celsius with less humidity. I've actually enjoyed the heat this year a little. Yesterday wasn't a lot of fun, but I figured you gotta enjoy it because it's pretty short-lived. And we've had a lot of rain. We've had some bad flooding in this area. Well, not specifically in the area that I live, but yeah. So I guess we should just enjoy it, you know, and because come October, November, we'll be dreaming of warm, sunny summer days like this. So, but it is a bit intense. So yeah, I guess that's it. I guess that's all that's going on. I think I'll wrap this up now and call it a day. Talk to you next time.